Hi YouTube, I'm Maxwell. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of my Backfire Ranger X2. I've had it about 4 months, and according to the odometer, I've ridden it 447 kilometers. And in that time, I've ridden streets, trails, mud and snow, and about everything in between. And so I want to run you through my impressions of the board, show you its features, and demonstrate its strengths and weaknesses out for a ride in the beautiful sunshine today.
This board is really well built. It's got two powerful hub motors at the rear that are nearly silent and fully sealed from dirt and water. The deck is wide and has rough grip tape to keep a sure footing. And the airless tires, they've worn quite well over the miles I've ridden and have excellent grip. But they still roll quite smoothly on pavement. I'm a big fan of the included headlight. It's really bright and has a couple of good settings, but it would be great if Backfire included a rear light as well. So for now I simply use a small bike light for visibility at night. The underside of the board has taken the brunt of the abuse, so it shows some scratches and scuffs here and there, but it's neatly packaged with two modules, one for the motor controller and the power button, the other for the battery and the charge port. They're both well sealed with rubber gaskets. Now, if you do ride this in the mud or on wet pavement, your legs are going to get soaked. So, to try and keep spray on the board and my legs to a minimum, I designed and 3D printed some fenders. They're kind of clunky, but they fit securely and actually do a pretty good job of keeping everything dry. But I broke both of them on routes while doing some trail riding and had to repair them with some super glue. So I'm going to make some design changes and give it another go. I'm also going to try out a design I found on Thingiverse, a 3D database online. They look pretty slick, so more on that to come.
Let's go for a ride.
Yes, this is an all-terrain board, but chances are you're going to be riding it mostly on city streets, where the Ranger X2 really dominates. The combination of its flexible deck, big soft wheels, and double kingpin trucks give it a comfortable ride on the battered pavement many cities here call streets. Because of how solid it is, it gives me a lot of confidence that when I do come up to a big crack or bump in the pavement, I'll be able to roll right over it, and I can enjoy my ride a lot more because I'm not vigilantly scanning for bumps or something that's going to upset my balance. Riding up onto the sidewalks, not a problem. Brick and cobblestones, not a problem. So much here in Germany is paved with brick. Riding a board with normal urethane wheels is just absolutely awful. Sure, with the Ranger, you can still feel and hear these vibrations, but it's much better damped and bearable. I wouldn't have chosen a normal electric longboard here, specifically for this reason. I mean, heck, you can even go over railroad tracks. Not a problem. Now, this is a big longboard, but those double kingpin trucks I mentioned, with 2 points of rotation, make it really maneuverable. You can still make really tight turns, while keeping those bushings tight enough to be stable at high speeds, something you won't be able to do with normal trucks. So let's talk speed. Now, on a full battery charge, you can go top speed of 35 kilometers an hour. That's 22 miles an hour. And that feels really good. Don't really want to go too much faster than that, but with how stable the board is, I mean, I could do with a couple extra miles an hour. That wouldn't be a problem. But as the battery decreases, so does your top speed. So between 50 and 75%, your top speed will be about 32 kilometers an hour. 50 to 25%, you'll be about 29. And below 25%, you'll be like 27, 28 kilometers an hour. And then below about 15% battery, it starts to drop off from there. But stays pretty close to its top speed, around 18 to 20 miles an hour throughout most of the ride time. So that's really nice. So the one aspect of this board that I've been disappointed with has been the range. Backfire, they advertise a range of up to 35 kilometers, 22 miles, and that would be awesome, but I've never gotten anywhere close to that. The longest I've gotten on mostly flat, smooth terrain was 13 miles, 20 kilometers, and in my normal riding, I usually can get 10 to 12 miles out of a full charge. So that's like 16 to 18 kilometers. And if I'm riding off-road, I can expect that to go down 7 to 10 miles or so. That's just because riding over softer terrain, bumps, sticks, hard acceleration quite frequently, and so that slows things down and uses a lot more power. So I want to compare the hill climbing ability of the 3 different riding modes. So I picked out a small hill here, and let's go. So first up is Eco mode. Now, I was actually quite surprised how well it did. Yes, it was slower and has a slower top speed and dull throttle response, but still pulled up the hill quite well. Next up is Sport mode. Now, this is what I ride in most of the time. It's got really snappy power response and climbs the hill a full second faster than it did in Eco mode. And finally, Turbo mode. So it does climb the hill faster than it did in Sport, but to be honest, I couldn't feel much of a difference while I was riding. Still had plenty of power in Sport mode. Thing about Turbo mode is when it changes back into your regular mode, in this case Eco, it can happen quite suddenly, and then I didn't have braking anymore, as Eco does this slow ramp up of braking force, so I had to bail. And just for a fun comparison, here's a slow rental scooter struggling to make it up this hill. When the pavement ends, the Ranger really comes into its element. This is an all-terrain board after all. And I'm constantly surprised just what I can ride it on. It's opened up a whole new world of places to ride. Things that definitely wouldn't be possible if I didn't have an all-terrain board like this. With big, soft wheels, great grip, lots of power, all that really comes in handy when the pavement stops. I can ride it down logging roads, gravel paths, dirt paths, trails through the woods and fields, and really anywhere that I want. I mean, it's no mountain bike, and yeah, there are better mountain boards out there with pneumatic tires or even suspension, and those will get you further, but man oh man, I'm constantly surprised just how much this can handle. And you can ride it like a go-kart. If you've ever ridden your skateboard while sitting down on it, this is just even better off-road. You're like right there, close to the ground. Speed feels 3 times as fast, and it's really easy to control your body weight, slide around, kick the tail out, do a little skid or drift. It's so much fun. It's really hard to not have a good time while you're riding like this. You can cruise pretty quickly on gravel roads, but it's not the most comfortable thing. That and sharp rocks and bumps, those vibrations, they go straight to your legs, and after a little while that can get pretty tiring. So the best kind of trails are hard-packed dirt, relatively smooth. Those you can go pretty fast and feel really confident and secure on. It's a ton of fun. It'll make it up some pretty steep dirt roads. And I've taken it on some pretty bumpy, rough trails too. It's even gone down some trails that really aren't trails anymore. Tons of debris, lots of leaves, pretty soft stuff. But did it, no problem. And even went back up. I've been really impressed with my Backfire Ranger X2. If you're thinking about getting an electric longboard, I highly recommend it. Even if you weren't considering an all-terrain board, I think this is a really good all-rounder. It's super comfortable and stable on the streets, and it'll really open up your boundaries. Maybe you'll take it on a trail every now and again. It's just a ton of fun. So I highly recommend you check it out.
Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment if you have any other questions or if there's something you want to see me ride. Otherwise, stay healthy everyone. Stay safe. Bye.